Another scandal for Facebook. This time the tech giant is under fire after the social network was used to auction a child bride in South Sudan. Facebook says the post was taken down as soon as the company learned of it, but that only came after the girl was already married. We have more now from CNN's Samuel Burke.
A barbaric use of technology. That's how humanitarian organization Plan International is describing the auction to marry a girl in South Sudan who they say is just 16 years old. All this carried out via Facebook. The girl's father reportedly received 500 cows, 3 cars, and $10,000 in exchange for his daughter. The post was originally published on Facebook on October 25th, but Facebook didn't become aware of it until November 9th. 15 days later, the social network has taken down the post, and a spokesperson tells CNN, quote, "Any form of human trafficking, whether posts, pages, ads, or groups, is not allowed on Facebook. We removed the post and permanently disabled the account belonging to the person who posted this to Facebook. We're always improving the methods we use to identify content that breaks our policies, including doubling our safety and security team to more than 30,000 and investing in technology." But activists worry this could inspire other families to use social media to try to get larger dowries for their daughters. Plan International is calling on the South Sudanese government to investigate this matter and suspend any officials who took part in the bidding. Even though it's against the law there, UNICEF says more than half of girls in South Sudan are married before age 18. Samuel Burke, CNN, London.
Zainab Selby is a women's rights activist, author, and editor-at-large of Women in the World Media. She joins us now from New York. Zainab, thank you for taking the time to be with us. Facebook only removed the posts after the auction was done, and only then after the company was actually made aware of the material in the first place. And that statement makes it pretty clear they've got no idea of who's posting what.
Well, Facebook does have a responsibility because it's not the first case, nor is it going to be the last, where actually traffickers generally put postings on many social media networks. This was Craigslist in America, Facebook now. So this is a common practice actually with a lot of traffickers doing that. In this case, it's actually even more complex because it's the family of the girl who did that. And in a culture that does allow for dowry, and we have to distinguish between dowry, which is a common practice in many cultures, including Southern Sudan, which does not mean selling or auctioning your daughter. And what this family particularly had done is actually done an egregious act, even in their own cultural standards. So there are a few things here that we need to distinguish. One is not to generalize all Southern Sudanese culture. Second is actually to hold social media platforms responsible for such acts, and they have to do something to make sure that they mitigate some more damages from happening to women and girls. And then third is we need to look at, well, what are the actions needed to resolve that? Both versus Southern Sudanese girls, as well as the social actions needed by social platforms.
I'm just wondering, though, how much responsibility, where do you allocate the responsibility? How much with Facebook? How much with the Sudanese authorities? After all, the auction happened in public because of the very fact it was taking place online. How much responsibility is with the family?
I would hold all of them accountable. I think the public outrage is very important in this case. And the message in here for the family and for anybody who considers doing that, it is absolutely no. Now, we need to also explain it in a language that Southern Sudanese do understand, because cows in Southern Sudan basically means money. So usually the culture, you marry your daughter, you get dowry of money, cows, and then you use these cows to both feed yourself as a family and then recycle it to marry your own sons. And when you talk to a lot of Southern Sudanese girls, they say, look, we need to actually get jobs. We need higher education. We need secondary education, because the jobs are more incentives for us and for our parents to get us into jobs rather than marrying us. It's a more financial incentive. So first, we need to look into these things. Second, Southern Sudanese government does need to look into that. It's a big issue. It's a big crisis in Southern Sudan. There is war there. There is fighting. And usually women and girls are the first victims in war and fightings, and no one take what happens to them seriously. So this case is really a serious grievance that needs to be taken seriously by the Southern Sudanese government. And then social media platforms, again, it is very important because a lot of traffickers, above and beyond this case, a lot of traffickers manufacturers do sell ads and exchange in different platforms about girls being sold in trafficking. So they do need to take this case very, very seriously, because it's an indicator of a much larger behavior that is happening in the world.
Zainab, we'll leave it there, we're out of time, but thank you so much. Obviously, it's a complicated problem, it's a multifaceted problem, and Facebook isn't making it any better by the looks of things. So thank you for being with us.
Pleasure.